Looks like we got more than we bargained for. How's it going, guys? ShizuCats here with an emergency video now that the EN server is out. We got a really neat surprise. Tressa is out and is the featured unit on the first banner. Now I know you're all super excited and want to hear my opinion and all that, but there is some stuff I need to get out of the way first, so let's cover that before we start talking about Tressa's kit and evaluating her as a unit. First things first, Tressa is obviously out way earlier than she came out in JP. On the JP side, she was released 2 months into the game on New Year's Day 2021. The fact that Tressa is out now kind of takes all of our assumptions about EN versus JP and throws them out the window. There's really no way anymore for us to know that the release schedule will be the same in EN compared to JP, and so this does put some limitations on the content I can make or when I can post that content. For example, I was planning on doing a video where I talk about Honnet and Heathcote as they were the first 2 5-stars to be released on JP, but now that we don't necessarily know what's going to happen with those 2, I can't exactly just prepare a video in advance and upload it at the start of each month like I had originally planned to. If the schedule does end up going in an entirely different direction for English, the videos that I upload will have to be prepared reactively as new content gets revealed, as opposed to proactively, so that might mean later uploads than I had originally intended. So just keep that in mind, and thank you all in advance for your patience. The other thing I wanted to touch on was a quick note on how featured banners work in this game, since I haven't covered that yet on the channel. Currently, with Tressa being the banner unit, she will disappear temporarily once her banner ends. However, permanent characters whose release banners have ended will typically be added to the chance encounters, so the permanent pool, a bit later, and that usually coincides with a major update that contains a new story chapter. Alright, now let's get into the part you've all been waiting for, the Tressa Evaluation. Tressa appears to be a very well-rounded character with many options. Multiple parts of her kit are adapted from her merchant kit from the original Octopath Traveler, including Rest, Donate BP, and Sidestep. The first thing you probably notice about these skills is that their SP costs are astronomically high compared to their costs in the original, a way of rebalancing Tressa for COTC. As a way to counterbalance against these high costs, Tressa has the same passive as Sophia, where her SP costs are cut in half while she's at full HP. However, one thing to note about this passive that I forgot to mention in my reroll guide is that if Tressa gets hit before she's able to act that turn, the SP reduction doesn't take effect and Tressa will be forced to pay the full price. This actually makes her passive quite hard to use under normal circumstances, since her speed is quite low and she's prone to getting attacked before acting. Tressa's other passive is basically a guts effect. 1 time per battle, she can live a lethal hit with 1 HP, which is definitely handy. Tressa's main offensive option for general play will be her 3-hit spear attacks, either the regular or priority version depending on what level she's at. Either version is great to have, but the priority version is especially useful for initiating breaks, as well as utilizing Tressa's 50% SP cost passive, as it allows Tressa to guarantee that she gets to attack before she has a chance to get hit. Unfortunately, this ability is locked behind 5-star, but the normal 3-hit version is available by default, making her a fantastic unit against enemies weak to spears from right off the bat. Next, let's examine her wind attacks. She has a rather unimpressive 1-hit wind single target nuke by default, and eventually gains a 1-hit AoE and finally a 2-hit AoE at 5-star. If the fight calls for some trade wins, the 2-hit AoE is your best bet, but it's extremely costly if Tressa isn't at full HP. Starting off, for Tressa's utility, she has access to a taunt. It's identical to Pia's, taunting all enemies while also giving all front row allies plus 15% attack up as well. Also similar to Pia, Tressa's speed is on the lower end, meaning that allies likely won't be able to benefit from the attack up on the turn she casts it, and it also means that she can't reliably protect her allies on the turn she starts her taunt either. That being said, the combination of taunt and sidestep can be quite powerful, allowing Tressa to taunt enemies' physical attacks and then dodge them completely. Against certain fights, this can completely neutralize the enemy. Donate BP is significantly nerfed compared to its OG counterpart. On top of its massive SP cost of 60, it also comes with the demerit that Tressa must always act last the turn she uses it. This has multiple demerits associated with it. She can't give an ally BP and then have that ally immediately use that BP that they were gifted in the same turn. And going last means that Tressa is even more prone to being hit and losing her 50% SP cost passive, and is forced to pay the full 60 SP, even against the slowest of enemies. Donate BP still has its place in some very specific planned out compositions, but it's nowhere near the same skill it was in OG. Finally, we have Rest, which heals Tressa's HP, restores 5 to 10% of her SP, and removes certain status ailments. This move seems completely pointless to me. It implies that Tressa is not at full HP and also isn't attacking. Tressa should be brought alongside units that can keep her healthy at all times, rather than needing to waste her turn healing herself. Regen casters like Teo, Cedric, and Menno make great companions, and Menno in particular has good synergy with his Wind defense down skills. Other great units to pair with Tressa are Barad and Pia. In fights where the enemy is weak to spears, having access to this trio of units can make fights trivial. Barad is another strong merchant attacker with access to 3-hit spear just like Tressa, as well as a strong 220 power spear nuke. Pia's ability to inflict the unique spear defense down debuff lets you surpass the normal defense down cap of 30%, allowing Tressa and Barad to rain hell on the enemy team. Overall, Tressa is a unit where you really want to know what you're getting into before you decide to use her. As a general unit, she has good spear multi-hit and a 2-hit wind AoE, but the rest of her kit is full of situational options. Taunt plus sidestep combination is great against enemies that launch physical attacks, but is completely useless against magic. Donate BP is fantastic if you have a specific way that you want to utilize it, but for general play, the nerfs it received in COTC just make it not worth bringing at all. I feel like I should clarify, she's not a bad unit by any means, she's just not the same insane unit that she was in OG. As far as spear users go, her 3-hit priority spear is an amazing move, especially at a 34 SP cost if you can maintain her at full HP. Stick a strong regen on her and let her go absolutely crazy against any enemy weak to spears. She's a fantastic break initiator as well, since a triple boosted priority spear can break the enemy with the first hit and then deal massive damage with the second and third hits. Overall, I would rate Tressa probably below Sophia in terms of reroll priority. I know a lot of you are going to want to pull Tressa for the nostalgia factor, and I don't blame you. Pull for who you want to pull for. If having Tressa makes you happy, then go for it. Thanks for watching, everyone. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Hopefully this video gives you guys an idea of the kind of format that I want to go for when evaluating characters, but if you guys have any comments or suggestions, feel free to let me know. Up next, I'll be looking to resume my normal video schedule, although stuff will end up being a bit delayed due to me investing time on this video instead. Expect my dailies and weeklies guide soon, and I'll be looking to post my 4-star guide soon after. Until next time, this has been CotC. See ya!